Hello guys, it is our very last camp meeting session together. I can't believe it. There's only one way that we can fix this sad ending. You're gonna just have to come to camp.
You're gonna have to come. I'm gonna miss you guys.
Oh, come on.
If you guys don't.
But for now, I hope you absolutely enjoy the program that we have for you. We love doing our skits, our improvs, and we're just excited to share them with you, to have you guys with us. Yeah, so sing along wherever you are as we do our first song.
Please come to camp, guys.
1, 2, 3.
Yep.
Okay. 1, 2, 3, 4.
It's better than life. My lips will praise you all of my days. Because your love is better than life. My lips will praise you all of my days. All of my days.
Amen.
Amen. See you at camp.
See you guys at camp.
Welcome to Timber Ridge Camp's version of Whose Line Is It Anyway? Where everything is made up, but the points do matter. We are actually filming it here at Timber Ridge Camp. And really quick, my name is Brenna Titano. I will see you this summer at Timber Ridge Camp if you do choose to come, which is a pretty awesome place. We do have some camp staff who are our actors today. Camp staff, why don't you go ahead, say your name, and say where you will be working at camp this summer.
Perfect timing. You go ahead, Elias.
My name is Elias, and I will be working in mountain biking. So visit me, and we can ride some bikes.
My name is Renee, and I'm going to be girls director this year. So to all of you girls out there, I'm so excited to meet all of you.
Hello, I'm Heather. I'm outdoor adventure director. So pretty much anywhere you are outside, I'll probably see you there. So yeah.
I'm Isaac Hansen, and I am also doing bikes. So yeah, let's get out there.
Hi, my name's Dean, and I'm going to be a sub-counselor this summer. I'm so excited to work with all of the boys' cabins, and I hope to see you here this summer, and I love to have fun with you guys, and I cannot wait to see you.
Thank you so much, you guys. So again, Timber Ridge Camp registration is open. So if you would love to come, learn more about God, hang out in nature, and hang out with these lovely people, please make your way down here this summer. All right, we're going to go ahead and get started. Our first game is one you guys haven't played before. It's called Director. So Isaac Hansen, you are going to be our director. So come on forward, make your way to the center stage. All right, and so you are filming a... Well, for now. And you are filming a movie scene. In your movie scene, Heather is the trusty household pet. Dean, you are afraid of the dark. And Renee is Dean's babysitter. All right, so Isaac, this is your cast.
Yeah.
So Isaac, this is your cast. So what's going to happen is they're going to start the scene, and you are going to like pause them, tell them what to do, or maybe have them say something differently. The theme for today's episode is fear. We have a Bible promise that helps us with that. Deuteronomy 3:18 says, God will never leave you nor forsake you. Do not be afraid. Do not be discouraged. In fact, there are 365 times in the Bible, one for every single day of the year, where God says, do not be afraid. Okay, so again, our theme for the day is fear. Isaac's director, Heather's our trusty household pet, Dean is the babysittee, and Renee is the babysitter. All right, 3, 2, 1, action.
Almost time for bed. Ooh, sounds like a bad storm out there. You scared me.
Ribbit.
Well, I'm scared.
Ribbit.
Why are you scared?
I don't like the dark.
Pause. Dean, we want to be a little softer. We want to be a little more anxious with your voice. And you're doing great. Okay, keep going.
Why are you scared?
I'm scared of bedtime because I don't like the dark.
Here, maybe this will make you feel better. There you go. So tell me what your frog's name is. Sometimes talking makes it hear.
John Quavius.
Here, come up here. Come here. Come look out the window with me. It's okay. Don't worry. All right. Let's try that. Here, hand on the frog. One more time.
Hey, pause. When you open it up, there's gonna be lightning this time. Okay.
Okay.
Okay. Action.
Okay. Ready? Crack!
Oh,
That's scary. That wasn't bad.
where'd the light go?
Okay. Okay. Think, Judy. Think.
Close the window!
Sorry. Went this way. Sorry. Okay. I'm gonna go. I'll be right back.
Where are you going?
pause. I want to hear a couple more ribbits.
Oh,
okay?
sorry. Lost myself in that.
Okay. And action.
Okay. You see this little candle?
Uh-huh.
It's really bright,
Yeah.
but it's really small.
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes we're like that.
I don't get what you mean.
Well, it's kind of like everything around us is really confusing and really dark, and sometimes it's loud and we don't understand it. But if we remember that there's a little light, it's kind of like God in us. And we know that when we're right here, even if we're small, it's going to be okay. Because there is no darkness in the little light. It's just light. And that's what God's just like that. He's here with us even in the storm.
Well, I still think I'm scared.
That's okay. Sometimes when it's dark, even if we know there's light, we can still feel scared, and that's okay. Here. Do you have anything to say?
Thank you.
And scene! Round of applause for our actors and our director.
You guys did so well. I feel like I didn't have to direct all of that. But good
That was awesome.
Very heartfelt. And
Is that how the directing goes? Like, that was like
all
a
everything
like
ribbon.
yes, you adjust things, yes. And you can, and I guess we got really heartfelt and emotional, so it was good. It was really good. Thank you guys for that. Our next game is going to be called Author. So Elias, go ahead and make your way to the front. Dean, why don't you come stand next to Elias, and then let's see, I'm gonna have Heather and Isaac come line up together in 4. All right, so let's see, I'm gonna have you stand in a row right here in the front of the stage. This game shouldn't take too long. All right, so here's the deal. Renee, again, the theme is fear, and I need like a book title that you think would go along, and you can make this up, something that has to do with like fear.
A disappointing Wednesday in a hole in the ground.
A disappointing Wednesday and the hole in the ground. Okay, and again, our theme is fear. So Heather, you are an author of nursery rhymes. Isaac, you are an author that tells stories around a campfire. Dean, you are in a musical. And Elias, you are in charge of like airplane manuals, okay?
Airplane manuals?
Yes. So the character I just gave you,
I'm in a musical?
you are going to start off the story that Renee has just described, Disappointing Wednesdays in a Hole in the Ground. And you're going to start off with the story. You're going to pick up the story. You're going to go on, and then you are going to finish the story. As in that tone of voice and that specific way an author would write. Okay, so I'll give you a couple seconds.
What was the title of the? Sorry, what was the title of the book again?
Wasn't it A Disappointing Wednesday and the Hole in the Ground?
A disappointing Wednesday
In a hole.
in a hole on the ground.
Yep, and the
In a
theme
hole in the ground.
again, we got to teach our attendees about fear and God's promises. So,
I'm the author of an airplane
manual. Yes. All right. 3,
Spend a Wednesday in a hole,
2,
right?
1, action.
It was a disappointing Wednesday in a hole in the ground. Not much to see. Not much to do. There was lots of dirt, not much sun. There was no fun to be found around in that hole in the ground.
Our character, Bequimothy, was looking around, a little, needless to say, afraid. He thought he saw some glowing eyes. He thought he saw something, he heard something move. He was beginning to get really worried, and he had no way out of this big, dark hole in the ground.
I think I see a monster outside of my hole on a Wednesday night. Man, I feel like a fool. I see nothing but this pair of glowing eyes. I think I'm about to meet my demise.
If you feel like you're about to meet your demise, there are 5 steps to follow. First thing to do, if you're about to feel your demise, is make sure the scene is safe. Obviously, it's not, because you're about to meet your demise. So, second step, to put on your life vest, just in case you're in water. Step 3, call for help, like this. Help! Step 4, this is where the help really comes in. You can say a little prayer like this. Dear Jesus in heaven, I am afraid. I know you are powerful and mighty. Please help me. And
Amen.
step 5, trust. Trust that God will be your life vest and get you out of your demise.
The end. Thank you so much, our author.
That was actually good, you guys.
Camp has changed my life!
I'm about to have the best summer ever! Where are you going? I'm going to Timber Ridge Camp!
You know, there's nothing like a good week at Timber Ridge Camp.
Yes!
Woo! The other day I was walking around the lake trail, getting so thirsty. But then I remembered, BAM! My Timber Ridge water bottle. I'm never thirsty again.
My eyes used to hurt because I was always looking at the sun walking around camp. But then I went to the camp store at Timber Ridge. Now my eyes don't hurt anymore. Has anyone seen my sunglasses?
And we're back. All right, here we go. So for our final improv game, I'm gonna need Renee to come stand right here where this flower is, and I'm gonna need Isaac to come up here, and I'm also gonna need Dean to come on the other side. All right. So in this game, you two, oh man, I kind of want to make you guys clowns at a circus. You know, and the theme, remember, we're trying to tell a story about fear and how God's promises can help us overcome that fear. So here's the deal. You guys are going to just be like telling this story, and Renee only has lines that were written down for her by fellow camp staff. All right? So whenever you can, turn to Renee, ask her something, chat with her. She's got lots of things she's ready to tell you guys.
Is Renee something?
She is also a clown at the circus. You're all clowns together.
clowns.
Yes.
We're the clown trio. We're like the Three Stooges, but at a circus.
All right, here we go. Remember, the theme is fear. 3, 2, 1, action.
I don't think she can talk.
I think she's in a box.
She might be in a box.
Do you think she's in a box?
Are you okay?
She's about to talk.
You look like the kind of person that likes to know about your extended warranty.
He kinda does look like that fella.
You know, she's not wrong. I'm a little afraid to confront some things about my extended warranty, my extended contract.
With what? What's your contract about, huh?
Well, you know what? I've always wanted to be a chef. I wanted to be a chef, okay. But recently, the circus master came to me and he was like, dude, you gotta do 10 more years at the circus. Okay? And I don't want to do 10 more years at the circus. I want to be a chef. Okay? I've been contacted about my extended warranty and I just don't know what to do about
What do you think?
Do you have any advice for me?
Do Jingle Bells really rock?
I'm gonna be honest with you, boss. I don't think that was real helpful. Do you have any other advice for him?
No, she might have a point.
What are you gonna do with Jingle Bells if you want to be a chef, huh?
Camp water is my favorite drink.
Oh no!
Oh,
no! See, this is what got me thinking about being a chef because I got some camp water. Okay, I was cooking it up. Can you help me cook?
Oh,
Yeah, I was cooking it up, and I made some amazing stew. Please don't drink the camp water. Don't drink the camp water, okay? But I was cooking with it, okay? And if this is your favorite, drink, then I can make you something amazing. But I'm afraid, because the circus master's gonna come and clown.
Why are you giving the circus master so much control over your life?
Well, he's just been my boss for so long.
You know, your one true boss should be the man upstairs. You should talk to him. You should try and sort this out with him instead of yourself. Ooh. Sometimes we don't make the best decisions.
Oh. You got a point.
Yeah, I think I do. I'm the smart one of the bunch, if you can't tell. But I'm really saying, instead of holding that fear within yourself,
I'm
done?
You're
done?
I'm holding it.
I think you should let it go. Get over that fear. Get over that fear of being needed here. Talk to God and find out where you're really needed. I know my calling is to be a clown. There's not one day I go by without loving my horn. But you, on the other hand, look, he's got a sad little horn. He wants to be a chef. Look. Now this is what you really need, boss. Now hang up that makeup, hang up that hat, get rid of all of this, and chase your dreams with God by your side.
Amen.
What do you gotta say to that?
In my free time, I am a hot dog.
And scene! Thank you so much, you guys. That was fantastic. And thank you so much, Clown over here, for encouraging him to talk to the big man upstairs who is...
Jesus.
Yeah, God, yeah. All right, remember, whenever you're afraid, God always has a listening ear for you and has lots of promises that will encourage you every single day. We hope you guys had fun. Thank you for coming to an edition of Whose Line Is It Anyway? Have a great rest of your day.
Bye. Well, boys and girls, I want to share with you another few creatures here in our Timberridge Nature Center. I want to tell you a little bit about them. And I'm going to show you a couple varieties here. But as you can imagine, I bet you know what this is. It's a snake. But do you know what kind of a snake it is? If you were to look at this snake under the light or outside in the sunshine, look carefully. I don't know if the camera picks this up or not. But if you look carefully, you can kind of see the rainbow. It does a little better outside in the sunshine. But this is a Brazilian rainbow snake. So they live down in South America. They're a terrestrial snake, and that means that these guys run around on the forest floor. They'll swim really well. They take to the water very good, but they're an ambush hunter. So Brazilian rainbow boa snakes will sit along in a leaf litter and stuff in the forest floors, and as a mouse or a bird or a lizard or something comes along, they will grab hold of it, and they're a constrictor, a boa. So they will throw their body coils around that rat, that bird, that lizard, whatever it is that they've captured, and they will squeeze and squeeze and squeeze until they've suffocated whatever it is that they're capturing. Now you notice that as far as the rainbow boas go, they have a lot smaller head on them than some of the rock pythons and anacondas and things. A little bit narrower head. So we just feed ours about medium-sized rats. But you'll notice something unique about snakes, or interesting about snakes. Obviously, no feet. But watch his tongue. His tongue keeps slipping in and out, and it's got a fork on it. And that's for a reason. Snakes smell in three-dimensional. Each of those forks on his tongue, the snake will poke into the roof of its mouth into an organ called the Jacobson organ. And because the tongue is forked, they can tell which side of the tongue has more scent on it than the other, and that'll give them the direction so that they can tell, kind of see, smell in three dimensions. Now on the edge of the Brazilian rainbow boas, near their face, you'll see little pits along their edge. And those pits, they're able to sense heat with those. So these guys can track down things at night, and that's helpful because they're nocturnal. So even though there's not a lot of light out, these guys can smell in three dimensions. They can tell what direction the smell is coming from, and they can also have sense heat and things from little birds and rodents, or anything that's warm-blooded anyways, the rodents and stuff. So that allows them to smell and to see heat at night. Now these guys are pretty cool too, in that when they have something in their throat, snakes have a little tube in the bottom of their throat that they're able to stick out. I've only seen it a few times when they're eating, but that allows them to take in air even when a mouse or a rat has filled up their whole throat area. They typically don't have to worry about making too loud of a sounds for a snake. You'll notice he doesn't have any exterior ears. In fact, most of what a snake hears is through vibrations. So their lower jaw will transmit vibrations from the ground up to their internal ear and allow them to hear a little bit that way, but they don't have great hearing. More it's by eyesight, smell, and heat sensing that the snakes go by. Another interesting thing is their jaws. Snakes have a left and a right lower jaw that is all independently controlled with little ligaments and stuff, and so they can expand, kind of open that jaw and expand it out so that they can wrap around their mouse or bird or whatever they've gotten that's even a little bit larger than their head and swallow it down. So that's kind of, if you look right here, you can see from this angle, you can see the rainbow in the scales, and that's because their scales are healed. They have little prisms there that refracts the light. So as the light comes in, it refracts out at different angles, and it leaves the rainbow. Outside in the sun, you can see it really well. And we're going to let this one crawl up under here for a second. See where he goes. They like to play in our pond here at Timber Ridge. I've got a couple more snakes I want to share with you, or show you. So I'm going to let this one, these guys get to be about 6 to 7 feet long. That's about full size for them. So not so large that they can really hurt you. They're kind of on the medium size for the boa constrictors. They live to be 10 to 20 years old. Mine, I think, are about, I probably had them for about 10 to 15, probably about 15 years, and they were adults when I got them. So I imagine they're up towards the upper end of their lifespan. They're ovoviviparous, and that means that the females will have eggs internally, and they'll hatch the eggs internally, so they give live birth. And they have about 15 to 30 some babies. Now mine have had about 25 babies, I think, in one clutch, one group of baby snakes. And the babies are about 15 to 20 inches long. The little snake's about the size of a pencil in diameter. I'm going to let his body hang down here. See what he does. That's going to pull him off. He's managing to stay up. And what we'll do is we'll wrap him up the other way. I think he'll have better ability to stay where he's at that way. Now this is my female here, and this is my little boy over here. He's just about 6 inches to a foot smaller than my female. And they like to hang out in here and play in the water. They'll lay out in the lights here on the edge. And if you look up that tree right there, the other day they even climbed to the tippy top of the tree and sat there for a little while, hanging out. But let me grab another snake I want to show you that's a native here to Timber Ridge. These guys are from South America, so you won't find them in the wild here. But I have a snake that you'll like that's native here to Timber Ridge. All right, here's 2 more snakes that we have here at Timber Ridge. These, can you guess? I'm going to let you look at them carefully here for a second. Notice they're black, but they have white and they have speckles here along the edge of them. Here, and you see more of the speckles down below, and a little more up here by the head. These are speckled king snakes. Now, king snakes are unique in that they will eat other snakes. So they're kind of the king of the snake world. So a king snake can even eat venomous snakes. So they could eat cottonmouths, rattlesnakes, water moccasins. And they're immune. If the poisonous snake bites them, it won't cause these guys too much harm. They're immune to that poison. But they typically eat smaller animals than that. They'll eat little ribbon snakes here in Indiana. We found both of these right outside of our nature center here, warming up in the sun this spring. Now we're going to take here in a moment and we're going to turn one of these guys loose back outside. I just wanted you to get a chance to look at them here. These guys are wandering around Timber Ridge property, and people want to have the king snakes around their property because they'll eat the other venomous snakes and things, and they eat a lot of rats and rodents. So they're a good snake to have around, and they're native to this area. They're actually widespread across the U.S. Let's go turn one loose, shall we? We'll turn them loose right here in our little garden. We're working on a butterfly flower garden here, and we'll see where our little king snake takes off to. You can see that tongue flicking out, analyzing the smells and things around. It's got a tight grip on me at the moment. Not gonna let go. You came from the outside. Don't you want to go back outside? Thinking about it. It's a spot, our black and white Argentinian tegu. Now in the old world you have the large lizards or the monitor lizards, the Komodo dragons, those guys. They're all related. And in the new world, the large lizards are the tegus. And you'll notice something interesting about Spot here. He's a black and white Argentinian tegu, and he's flipping out his tongue just like the snake. And if you look at the end of his tongue very carefully, you'll see that the end of his tongue is also split into a fork. And so he has the same Jacobson organ in the roof of his mouth that a snake has, and it allows him to smell three-dimensionally as well, to kind of tell which direction the smells are coming from by where the strength of the smell is on his forked tongue. Now Spot here is just a young Argentinian black and white tegu. He's going to get much larger. Right now he's only about, maybe 2 feet. He's going to get between 4 and 5 feet when he's full grown. And it's a male. He'll probably weigh about 50 pounds. So a very large lizard, much heavier bodied than the green iguanas, but not as long as a green iguana. And tegus are a very intelligent lizard as well. And the Argentinian black and white tegus tend to be one of the more docile of the tegus. These guys get to be very tame. And so we're hoping here in the Nature Center, we're going to build Spot a large cage about 8 foot. And we'll let him out each day to roam around the Nature Center, to go on a little walk, and to see the campers and stuff here at Timber Ridge. I think you'll enjoy Spot as you come to check him out here at Timber Ridge. Now, Spot, the Argentinian tegu, and the snakes that we just looked at have something in common. They're both reptiles, and they're cold-blooded. So both of them have to come out in the sun to have the environment warm them up. So they'll sit out in the sun and bask, or they'll sit on a hot rock or a hot surface or something to raise their body temperature. And then in the winter, they have to go somewhere where they can hibernate for the winter. And if the temperature gets too hot in the summer, they'll do what's called estivating, where they will seek shelter in the shade or in their burrows or tunnels, and they will slow down their metabolism, and they'll rest there in the cool. And that's estivating. Spot here is omnivore. He loves plant matter. He likes meat or insects. He likes any kind of a little animal that he could fit in his mouth. He's pretty opportunistic. Tegus, if you keep them warm enough, will eat just about anything that you offer to them. If their diet is a little higher in plant matter growing up, then they will tend to live a little longer, but won't grow quite as quick. They'll still reach full size, but it'll be a slower time. If you feed them a lot of meat when they're growing, they'll grow faster, but their lifespans will shorten a little bit. So we're going to try to give Spot a little more plant matter, and then let him grow up a little bit slower. He likes to come out and sit on your shoulders as you're walking around in the Nature Center here. Another thing with reptiles, they're cold-blooded. They have scales, and if you were to feel Spot, you'd see that he has little scales like armor protecting him all over his body. The snakes as well, all the reptiles have scales. There's about 5 different animals in the reptile categories. You have snakes, turtles, let's see if you can think of the others, lizards, there's 3, crocodilians, and then the taratara, I think is how you say it. It looks just like a lizard, but it's a different category. And so there's 5 categories in the reptile world, of the different types of reptiles. We're going to put Spike up here. Maybe we'll let him wander around a little. I don't know if he'd like the water or not. I guess we'll put him back here with his hot rock and see if he wants to bask just a little bit before he goes back to bed. He likes to dig in his mulch here when he goes to bed. Now, how many of you are more afraid of snakes or lizards? Snakes, right? Most people are. And I sort of wonder if it doesn't go back to the Garden of Eden. At least that's what my wife tells me when she says that there's a healthy fear of snakes, and God gave us the fear of snakes. But if you think about it, I want you to picture the Garden of Eden that first time. Beautiful snakes there in the Garden of Eden. And kind of still have some pretty beautiful snakes if you ask me. But I want you to go a little further back than that. Think of a time when Jesus would walk through heaven and come to your house and come to visit. Can you imagine what it was like for the angels if they're doing their various jobs and to have Jesus come along and to visit and see how they're doing? Well, Jesus loves to visit. In fact, he ended up creating a whole world that he could come to visit here on earth. And he placed Adam and Eve in a beautiful garden. He gave them all kinds of creatures, Argentinian tegus maybe some Brazilian rainbow boas, some elephants, some hippopotamuses, all kinds of amazing creatures that he gave them there to enjoy in the Garden of Eden. And he gave them beautiful food too, fruits and vegetables and all kinds of wonderful things to eat. But if you remember, When he gave them all those fruits and foods and things, he gave them a tree that was the tree of life. So when they would eat on that tree, they would have eternal life. Must have tasted awfully good. And he placed one other tree in that garden. I think you're remembering the story probably now. And that tree was the tree of knowledge of good and evil. And God told Adam and Eve, after he'd created all these beautiful things for them, he told them, now, I don't want you to eat of that tree. Because if you eat of that tree, you're going to die. And so I imagine for a while, Adam and Eve probably avoided that tree. But as time went on, and I don't know what was happening that particular day, but Eve ended up near that tree. And so let's go over by the tree we have over here by the pond as we finish our story. And so she is there by the tree of knowledge of good and evil, and out comes this beautiful snake. Now it sort of sounds in the story as if the snakes at the beginning, maybe they had wings. Kind of reminds me of the pictures you see of dragons in Chinese myth and all stuff. Those long snakes with wings and feet. Well, this beautiful snake comes out of the tree. And it's really Satan, or maybe Satan's in the snake. He's pretending that the snake talks. I'm not sure exactly how he did that. But it appears as if the snake is speaking to Eve. So Adam and Eve, they've been friends with God. They've walked with him there in the garden. They've gotten to go and see all the different animals. Adam got to name the animals. And here one day, when God isn't anywhere around them at the moment, this snake begins to talk to Eve. And the snake tells her, well, isn't that tree look so good for food? Here, I've eaten of that tree, and now I can talk, communicate, or at least that's what maybe she's thinking is happening. And so he begins to carry on this conversation with Eve. And in that conversation, Eve tells the serpent, of all the trees in the garden we can eat, but just not this tree. And Satan begins to talk to Eve, and he tells her, God's holding something back from you. Because he knows in the day that you eat of this tree, you'll be wise just like God. And Eve is beginning to think about that. And she's thinking, maybe God is holding something back from me. You know, we often think about sin being when Eve took that piece of fruit, whatever kind it was, and when she ate it. But the problem began a little bit before that. The problem really began in Eve's heart when she began to decide that she didn't trust God anymore. And that is the same problem that you and I go through in life. There are things that God tells us about in the Bible to avoid, things he tells us that we ought to do in the Bible. But sometimes people begin to distrust, and they decide that maybe somebody or something out in the world that people are saying is more accurate or is better than what God has told them. And they begin to mistrust. And then they have the same problems that Eve had. Because when Eve mistrusted God, when she believed the snake, the serpent, the devil, more than she believed God, it led into the fall of mankind. It led to death and sin and struggles and pain that we face, all because she didn't trust God. You know, boys and girls, we need to be careful who we trust. Because sometimes there's people and there's things in this world that portray themselves as smarter than God or know better than God about something. And whenever we turn to those things and place our trust in someone other than God, it is always going to lead to heartbreak and trouble and sin, just like it did for Adam and Eve. So next time you see a snake, maybe it'll remind you of the story of our relationship with God and how we ought to trust him as well. And one day, we'll be able to walk through the garden and we'll be friends with God, just like Adam and Eve were. And he can go along and he can tell us what that snake is, or what that lizard is, or what that animal is. And he can tell us how he created it, just for our enjoyment. And maybe some interesting things about it that we never knew before. I want you to think about that next time you see a snake. maybe you won't be so quick to get out the shovel and to kill it. I hope you have a good evening, and we'll share with you some more animal stories here at Timber Ridge. Till then, see you later.
Hi guys, my name is Jody and I'm the videographer here at Timber Ridge Camp this summer. I just wanted to take a moment and say thank you all for watching. I hope you enjoyed those videos and were blessed by them. I just wanted to end the week with a quick word of prayer, so if you'll please bow your heads with me. Dear God, thank you so much for this amazing week we had. Thank you for the speakers and for the service, and thank you especially for all these wonderful kids. I hope they had a great time. Please help us all to remember that you love us and that you're always with us. Thank you again for all your blessings, for loving us, and for sending your son to die on the cross for us. Thank you again. We love you so much, God. In Jesus' name we pray. Amen. Thank you again, guys. I hope to see you this summer. Bye.